The air was thick and arid, the earth cracked like shattered glass beneath the feet of the restless multitudes. For 3 years, the heavens had been sealed. Not a drop of rain, not a whisper of dew had graced the land of Israel. It was a kingdom suffocating under the heavy silence of a dry sky, suffering the consequences of turning away from their God to worship the lifeless idols of Baal. At the summit of Mount Carmel, the tension was palpable. On one side stood 450 prophets of Baal, adorned in their ceremonial robes, their faces painted with the desperate arrogance of false authority. On the other side stood a single man, wrapped in a rugged mantle of hair, his eyes burning with an unquenchable, divine fire. This was Elijah, the prophet of the Lord. How long will you waver between two opinions? Elijah's voice boomed over the crowd, resonating like thunder through the valleys. If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. The people answered him not a word. The silence of the crowd was heavy, a profound hesitation caught between fear and faith. Elijah laid down the challenge. Let 2 bulls be given to us. Let them choose 1 bull for themselves, cut it into pieces, and lay it on the wood, but put no fire to it. I will prepare the other bull and lay it on the wood, but put no fire to it. Then you call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. The God who answers by fire, he is God. The murmurs of the people swelled into an agreement. It was a fair contest. The ultimate test of divinity. From morning until noon, the prophets of Baal danced wildly around their altar. O Baal, answer us, they cried out, their voices tearing through the dry air. But there was no voice, no one answered. As the sun reached its zenith, they leaped upon the altar they had made, their frenzy growing. Elijah watched them, a fierce calm in his posture. Shout louder, he mocked, his voice echoing with righteous irony. Surely he is a god. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened. Driven to madness, the prophets slashed themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, until their blood flowed freely over the dust. They raved until the time of the evening sacrifice, but still, there was no voice, no answer, no one paying attention. The sky remained as silent and indifferent as the wooden idols they worshipped. Then, Elijah stepped forward. Come near to me, he commanded the people. He repaired the ruined altar of the Lord with 12 stones, representing the tribes of Israel. He dug a deep trench around it. He arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. But he didn't stop there. He commanded the impossible. Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood, he said. They did it. Do it again, he ordered. And they did it again. Do it a 3rd time, he instructed. They obeyed. The water ran down around the altar and completely filled the trench. The offering was soaked, completely drenched, defying any possibility of a natural spark. Elijah stepped up to the altar. The sun was beginning its descent, casting long, dramatic shadows over the silent, expectant crowd. He lifted his hands toward the unyielding sky. Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again. It was a simple prayer. No frantic dancing, no shouting, no bleeding. Just the quiet confidence of a man who knew the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Instantly, the sky shattered. It wasn't a gentle flicker. It was an explosive, blinding pillar of brilliant fire that roared down from the heavens like a furious sunbeam. The sheer force of the divine heat struck the altar with a deafening crack. The fire of the Lord fell and consumed everything. It incinerated the burnt offering. It vaporized the wood. It melted the very stones of the altar. It scorched the soil beneath it and instantly licked up every drop of water in the trench, leaving nothing but a crater of smoking, blackened earth. The entire assembly of Israel fell prostrate, their faces pressed into the dust, trembling in absolute awe and terror at the raw, undeniable power they had just witnessed. "The Lord, He is God," they cried out in unison, their voices echoing across the mountain. "The Lord, He is God." Elijah stood tall, his silhouette framed against the smoking ruin. The spell of idolatry had been broken. The false prophets of Baal, stripped of their illusions and facing the wrath of the true God, were seized. At Elijah's command, the people brought them down to the Kishon Valley. There, the deception that had poisoned the nation was finally eradicated. The false prophets were slain, their voices silenced forever. The drought was about to end. The rain was coming. But first, the fire had to fall, to purify the land and prove, once and for all, that there is only one living God.